Hello, I'm Catherine Maguire. Welcome to the Soul Alchemist podcast. If you are on a journey of personal or spiritual growth, you are in the right place. It's my desire each week to share wisdom, inspiration, and practical tools with you to help you remember the essence of who you truly are, reconnect to your inner gold, and live a joyful, fulfilling, and magical life. Welcome along to this week's episode. I've actually got a bonus episode for you this week. I have a lovely bonus meditation because we haven't done one of those in a while. But before we get into that, I want to tell you some really some beautiful, exciting news, something that's making my heart very, very happy, which is this. On Sunday, the 26th of April, I will be in Dublin and I would love you to join me. I am teaching a fabulous workshop called Alchemize Your Life. 3 hours of in-person soul alchemy and Catherine magic. So if you have been stuck in a rut or just kind of have lost yourself a sense of self, if you're in transition, or if you're on the cusp of a new life chapter and you're not 100% sure where it's taking you, or you're feeling a bit wobbly in the process, come along for 3 glorious hours. And I promise you will leave with a happy heart. You will leave feeling inspired, empowered, and with some really freaking amazing tools to alchemize your life. So it's from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. on Sunday, the 26th of April. It's in Wicklow Street in Dublin, just off Grafton Street. So it's really easy to get to with public transport. If you're driving, there's lots of car parks around. And also it's a Sunday morning, so there should be minimal traffic. There's lots of lovely little coffee shops in the area if you want to come early and grab a coffee and just kind of soak up Dublin on a Sunday morning. And it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be gorgeous. It is my first time to do an in-person workshop in Ireland in 10 years. All right. So this is me stepping out of my hermit phase and back into my in-person workshop phase. I used to do a lot of them when I lived in Ireland, and I've done workshops all around the world. And I haven't done any since I've moved to Italy. All my work has been online. So this is really me bringing all the wisdom, all the learning, everything I have accrued and metabolized and processed and gleaned the gold from in the past 10 years. This is me bringing it to you hot off the presses, so to speak. So it's going to be a gorgeous event, a really, really beautiful event full of just vitality and positive energy and magic and just expansion. Really, really lovely and full of love and fun and fun. So it's going to be a lovely morning, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. Sunday, the 26th of April, Wicklow Street in Dublin. So if you want to come along, get in touch. Catherine@catherinemaguire.com. There are only 20 places and some of them are already gone. They've been snapped up. So I'll put my email address in the description below of the episode. Email me. I'll send you the details and I'll send you the booking link. Catherine@catherinemaguire.com. So trust it. Trust that pull in your heart or those butterflies in your belly. Or if you can feel your soul poking you in the ribs and saying, you need to be in that room. Or if you can feel your intuition, poking at you and saying, you need to tell so-and-so about this workshop, follow that. I'd be delighted if you spread the word. And I would love to have you in the room. It's going to be a gorgeous event. Alchemize Your Life, Sunday, 26th of April. All righty. Let's get into this week's episode. So I feel like we've had a few big podcast weeks of late. And I kind of wanted to take a moment to almost like pause, give you a chance to kind of see where you're at and give you a really lovely meditation to help you move some energy. Because here in Italy, anyway, we're moving into spring and there's new growth, new energy. And I was talking to my sister this morning and she was saying like, oh my goodness, she's in Ireland. She's like, I feel like the sun has come out and showed me all the dust and dirt in my house. I need to spring clean. So I think there's a lot of people that feel like that. They're feeling like a heaviness after winter, and especially in the Northern Hemisphere. It's been a long, wet winter. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're moving out of summer into autumn, which is a different change in gear. So I wanted to give you something to help you move the energy today. So I wanted to actually talk about being stuck, because it seems to be a theme among people I'm talking to lately, and for multiple reasons. So for some people, they've just been kind of bogged down in winter, literally feeling very bogged down. For some people, they're feeling a bit overwhelmed, and that causes a sense of stuck. For some people, they don't know what's coming. It's like they feel like, it's time for change, but what is it? Like, I don't know what it is. I don't have clarity around it. I don't, so I can't move. I'm just stuck in this kind of inertia. And for some people, I was talking to someone recently who's been going through a process similar to my own, where they've been in a very kind of yin, kind of inner winter, where they've been withdrawn for the world in quite a while. And, he was saying to me that I know it's time for the next chapter. I know it's time to change, but I'm so used to being in this kind of introverted hermit phase that I just, yeah, I'm finding it hard to move. I'm very cozy. I've become very comfortable in this kind of more withdrawn space. And yet I know in my being, it's time to step out into the world again. And truly, I get that. I really do, because I've been through that myself. So there's lots of reasons why we can become stuck. And sometimes it's, what's going on in the world. It just all feels too much, too overwhelming. Your nervous system is completely maxed, so stuck is that kind of sense of inertia. It really is that kind of stuck in the mud. You don't feel like you've got forward motion. You don't know where to go. And often what can happen is we get really frustrated about being stuck. And that can add to it. Say if you're working on a project, whether that's a project in work, whether it's a creative project, whether it's a project in your own life, something you're pursuing or doing, that if we feel stuck, if we feel like we've entered into that kind of inertia, we can't get movement, we get really frustrated. And the frustration creates a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, which is the more frustrated we become, the more stuck we get. And the more stuck we are, the more frustrated we get. And you just end up kind of walking around in circles in this kind of labyrinth of your own thoughts and this labyrinth of your own life, and not actually getting anywhere. And it may be that, where you're stuck is you're stuck looking for a solution. Maybe you have a problem. You have a problem in a relationship. You have a problem in, a physical problem in your body. Maybe there's stuckness in your body. Maybe you have a pain or an ache or a restriction or an illness, and you just can't get past, like, how do I move beyond this? So there's loads of places we can be stuck. So I wanted to offer you something today. So the first thing I want to offer you is a reframe, which is, instead of saying and getting caught in the frustration, instead of saying I'm stuck, is offer yourself the gift of saying, I'm taking a pause. I've actually paused. I'm stopping. And just try that. Try that. If there's some place where you're trying to make progress and you're not, just say, I'm actually choosing to stop. And notice that your nervous system and your body automatically calms down, because you've taken the forcing element out of it. So I choose to stop. I choose to pause. Maybe, maybe you've got a problem with one of your children, and you're kind of, you have a teenager and you're battling against each other and you're trying to find a solution to whatever's going on. You go, actually, I choose to pause. I choose to stop. Okay, so whatever your particular situation is, try that. Bring it up into your mind, wherever that wall of frustration or forcing is. Big breath. I choose to pause. I choose to stop. Notice your shoulders most likely have softened. Okay. And then from that place, let's kind of get a better understanding of what's going on. So when we are stuck, there's some part of us that is actually looking to have a conversation. Some part of us either feels overwhelmed, doesn't feel safe, doesn't feel like it has enough information, doesn't feel like it has the guidance or the intuition it needs. Excuse me. So actually, That stuck is actually a call for help from some part of our being who needs to be seen and witnessed and addressed. Okay? And that's what I'm going to lead you through in the meditation today. I'm going to lead you through a process for meeting the party that's stuck, getting a sense of what it needs, and getting a sense of how you can open up some energy to be able to take a step, a gentle step, a non-forcing step, a step that has the support of the stuck actually with you. So it'll move with you instead of you moving against it. All right. So if you're listening today and you're feeling like, yeah, okay, I got it. I can feel that frustration. I know where I'm at. The other piece of that is, what's the payoff? What's the payoff to staying stuck? Because there will be a payoff. Maybe the payoff is you don't have to show up as yourself in a new way. Or maybe you don't have to then set a new boundary. Or maybe you don't have to advocate for yourself. And that's uncomfortable because you've never done that before. Or maybe the payoff is that you're keeping your light hidden. All right. So, a really practical example, like I said, I've been here in Italy in my little medieval village. It's a walled village. All right. So, in my little safe medieval walled village for 10 years. And it's been a time of really deep transformation for me. But it's safe. I live in a walled village on top of a mountain. There's a canyon on one whole side of the village. That's why they built it here, because in the days when, villages used to be attacked and invaded, that canyon gave great protection. And on the rest of the village, there's a wall. But psychologically, in my mind, that gives me great protection from the outside world while I've been going through this huge process of catharsis and transformation. All right. But now I need to step outside the village wall. So, what's the payoff? If the payoff is, in stepping out, I'm stepping out differently. I'm stepping out as a very new version of myself. Yes, there's qualities that are still me, still the essence of Catherine, but I'm a very different woman to the woman I was 10 years ago when I came in through those gates. And I'm stepping back out in this regard, back to Ireland, back to my old stomping ground, so to speak, back to, where people know me and have come and have worked with me and taken workshops with me. So I'm going back as a very different place. So the payoff can be to keep me safe. And the payoff is like, I'm afraid of shining my light in this new way. So I won't know that unless I take the moment, take the time to be with that energy that maybe is a bit resistance to stepping outside the castle walls, the village walls. Right. And it's the same for every one of us. So there will be a resistance, or there'll be a reason why we're stuck, we're overwhelmed, we're fearful. We don't want to implement a new boundary. We don't want to do something different because we've done it a particular way. We have to step out of our comfort zone, whatever it is. We're in our hermit phase, whatever it is. But there's also a payoff for staying stuck. That we don't have to show up differently. We don't have to shine our light. We don't have to advocate for ourselves, whatever it is. So it's a balance. It's a balance between what's keeping you stuck and what's the payoff from stopping you stepping out. Okay. So that's what I want you to think about today. And if that's where you find yourself, I have a gorgeous meditation for you. Check out the bonus episode. But here's the question I want to leave you with. What if you don't? What if you don't take the step? What if you stay stuck? How will that feel in a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now? What if you don't stay the step? What if you don't take the step? How would it feel? And I can only answer myself and say that would feel pretty crap. That would feel pretty crap. And that feeling would be worse than the feeling of the fear of taking the step. Okay. So what if you don't take the step? And that might be the motivation to unravel the frustration, and to release the stuck. So check out the bonus meditation. Enjoy it. Let me know how you get on. I'd love to hear where you are in the stuck, unstuck journey. And please remember, April 26th, Sunday, April 26th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., Wicklow Street, Dublin. Alchemize Your Life. In-person soul alchemy and Catherine magic. Email me at catherine@catherinemaguire.com. And let's have a gorgeous, empowering, inspiring, joyful morning together that I promise you will change your life. Have a gorgeous week. Check out the bonus episode, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Mwah.